I'm back. Yeah, so my name is Basamta. Like I said, Basamta um, um is my legal name. Um, I I work. I still can't share screen, so I hope somebody's helping me out. I work. I've worked in technology the last 15 years now because we're in 2023. But I have a 19-year or so career. Before I joined, okay, let me see if I can try. Okay, yeah, brilliant. Thanks. Um, Before I started my career in technology. Please, can you guys see my screen? So I just know to turn it into a slideshow. Can you?
Yes, I can.
All right, chill, cool. So before I started my sojourn in technology, I had some 4 or 5 years in marketing communications, and over this 19 or so period, I had to work around marketing, sales, business development, and so on and so forth. I don't want to bore you with that, so let's get into the topic. Well, I found the topic interesting. This is not particularly the topic that I was given, and I hope you guys at least saw the banner before you joined. What the banner says is positioning your business and career for optimum growth. That sounds like a mouthful, and usually people don't learn that way. I'm starting at 7:25, so if I have 20 minutes, I should end at 7:45. Right? So what I did was to sort of constrict the topic into a much shorter one that you can remember. Okay, so for this evening, let's just call the topic positioning to stand out. You can add anything you want: your career, your business, your babe, your guy, your food, your house. But I mean, the real crux of the conversation we're going to have is how do we stand out, and why is standing out a thing? Okay. Uh, um, I mean, you realize that when we're born, we're all born differently. For example, I was born, I think, 5 or 6 bus stops away from where I live now. And many of you were born in different places, in different states. I currently live in Lagos, Nigeria, Southwest Nigeria, West Africa. And like I said, I was born just about 700 meters from where I live today. Uh, and when I was born, clearly it's a different date from when you were born. And of course, I was born to a different mom, to your own mom. Okay, and I hope that my dad is different from your dad. Certainly, we're born in different years. Very likely, we're born in different parts of the world. Almost certainly to different tribes and cultures. So, I mean, when we were born, nature made us differently. It's interesting because, I mean, we spent the bulk of our life trying to stand out when we were actually born standing out. There's no two child that is the same. Not even Siamese twins who have their organs, their biological organs shared. They're not the same. They have different DNAs. They have different biometric engineering. I mean, they're completely different individuals. And most of the time, what we have seen is that even if you have a twin or Siamese, they almost always have different personalities. So nature or God, I mean, if you want to call it that, gave birth to us standing up. But you know the drama is that from the clothing our parents buy, I mean, our parents only go to the market to buy, and you can almost bet that that brand of nightwear or that brand of baby clothing that was bought for you was made in maybe 2 million copies. So you see, from the clothing you buy to the food you eat to the school you attend, you realize one of the worst thing about school is that schools are in uniform. So they tell you everybody resumes for 8 o'clock. Even if you don't like waking up in the morning, or if morning time is not your best learning period, or if you have a mood and an attitude in the morning, they don't care. Everybody has to resume in the morning. Everybody has to wear the same uniform. Everybody has to take a break the same time. Imagine if your brain is still sharp and you don't want to go on break. It's not possible. You must go on break at 11. Imagine if you want to play for 1 hour before your brain can process knowledge. No, everybody goes on break for 30 minutes. So from when we were young to maybe when you leave and get into the university, about 18 years, life and time and culture programs us to be the same. We go to school the same time. We leave school the same time. We take break the same time. We eat our lunch at the same time. We go back to our parents the same time. You sleep the same time. We do holidays the same time. And so life programs us into a robotic experiment, so much so that the guys who truly really succeed are the guys who go back to their history, who try to stand out. Because you know what? Standing out is the only way you win. I know there's not enough time. If I had 10 hours, I could go on and on. So I put up this slide. I mean, first I should say thank you to Share for inviting me, and also for putting together my slides. Like I said, I've been unavailable the last 3 days. I've not even been in my house for 3 days. I just got home like some 2 hours ago, and Share and his team carefully helped me put together my slide to communicate my thoughts. I want to say thank you. Also, thank you for inviting me. I only hope that the things I shared tonight is meaningful for everybody listening. So I put together a slide and I called it 7+1. And you will see, you would have noticed that everything has P is a trick. Unfortunately, my time is not enough, but let me play out the trick. So I don't know if you guys are like me, but I hope you are not. I studied political science in school. The reason why I did was because I'm just poor at math. But you know, it fascinates me that I can't remember trigonometry, but yet I can remember my nursery rhymes from when I was in nursery school, maybe 40 years ago. So how is it that I can remember rhymes from almost 4 decades, but I can't remember trigonometry from the uni? How? It is because people have figured out, I mean, the whole idea of how our brain works. Somebody said we have long memory, we have mid memory, we have short memory. And that when you pack things in long memories, you don't remember them. That one a lie. The truth is, when knowledge comes in rhymes and readings, it becomes much more difficult to forget. That's why you remember all the lyrics of your favorite songs, but not all the formula for what subjects. Okay? You remember them because with music, it comes in rhymes and readings, while with other knowledge, it comes in other boring structure. So I decided to use a lot of rhyme to communicate what I'm trying to say today, that perhaps maybe you'll remember. Maybe 10 years from now, if we never meet, if you live to be 80, I live to be 100, if we never see ourselves again, that you can remember and put to art the things I'm going to share tonight. That if you never see me, if you never see anyone, if you have to live in the world alone or find yourself in the desert, you can pick the knowledge and transform your life with it. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping. Now, so what I did was to put together about 8 thoughts that can guide you towards standing out and making the most of your life. Of course, purpose first is why you stand. Remember, the whole idea is positioning to stand out. Because for me, optimizing your life is simply standing out. Okay, optimizing your life is simply finding your path. Optimizing your life is simply knowing what your journey is and walking in the path. So the first one is purpose. Next one is place. Like I said, a lot of rhyme, position, preparing, posturing, process, product. And then the last one that I added is pure. So let's quickly get into it. The time will never be enough. So we'll walk by faith, guys. The first one, I like to put together this kind of slide because, I mean, many people don't get what's going on in the world. So up until recently, I used to watch CNN like 3 hours every day. For people who know me, they would have heard me say I read 4 or 5 hours every day. I mean, the last 25 years I've been doing. But until recently, I used to add another 1-2 hours of CNN to my reading time every day. It used to be so much fun watching Trump making an idiot of himself every day. I mean, he's no longer the president. So the CNN is not as exciting. But you know, whether you watch CNN or you don't, the world is in a mess right now. I mean, there are some imagery I wanted to use, but I'm no longer using. I wanted to use news clippings. I wanted to add to this slide, but I don't have it. The global economy is shrinking. If you read the news or listen to it, the world has not seen such cataclysmic scandal and losses that we're seeing today since 2008. That is 15 years ago. The world had not seen such crisis of monumental proportion. Economies losing values, country getting in debt like we're seeing now. So the global economy is shrinking. There are not quite a lot of opportunities as there used to be. Of course, there's rising local inflation. I'm deliberate by calling it local because, I mean, we always thought Nigeria is the hotbed of inflation. But not just Nigeria, there's inflation in America. Although I read the news today that said inflation slowed down in last quarter, which is great, but there's still inflation even in America. What it means, I mean, can you guys still hear me? I just want to be sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yes, we can. Very clear.
All right, guys, I'm going to apologize because I talk very fast. So if you need me to talk slowly, just let me know, and then we'll beg Shaya to give me more time. But I generally like to talk about it, right? So there's inflation. I mean, inflation in Nigeria is 22%. Do you know what it means? It means that if your salary right now is 100,000, by next year, no, if your salary last year was 100,000, what you are actually collecting today is 78,000. It's no longer 100,000. Because inflation at 22% devalues everything around you, including your money, your house. And I don't know if it's not even devaluing our brains. So inflation is eating up the value that we have. Of course, the macroeconomic situation in Nigeria is a different ballgame. Look at our currency. We almost exchanged $1 for 1,000 naira. I mean, that's a scandal. I paid for some services in dollars just this week on Monday, and I paid at 750 naira to $1. I mean, only God knows where this country is going. I mean, it's such a challenge for you to even stay alive. Okay? So that is something we need to pay attention. Of course, the resource versus need conundrum. Your need is always rising. Resource is never enough. I don't know how many of you on this call wants to jackpot, like we say, jackponomics. But I mean, you want to jackpot, but you don't have enough money to do proof of fund, to process your travel, to do this, to do that. I mean, we all have needs, but the resource that you have is never much enough. Of course, the social-political climate, everybody is either obedient or bad or articulate or this or that. We're having an iconic historic elections in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks. I mean, sometime in February, maybe 6-7 weeks, we're going to have one of the most defining elections of our lives. Whether you're in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s, the decisions that will be taken the next couple of weeks is going to impact us the rest of our life. I won't be surprised if it affects our kids. Okay, that is major. And your context, of course, your own dreams, your own desires, your own destiny, your decision. What has brought you here? What's going to take you away from here? I mean, did you attend one school or the other? Did you do study one course or the other? Did you decide to come to Lagos, or Lagos was the one that found you? Were you born here because your parents found themselves there, or you were born in the village somewhere? I mean, your dreams and your stories and your history brought you here. So you always have to start with the state of play, because you know what? The state of play is what helps you to understand the guy who is talking or the guy who is listening. So my name again is Lanre Basamta. You cannot fully understand me if you're not able to understand the context around which I exist. So I move. Oh, yeah, slide move now. Why did you do this? Okay, just a second. Good. Now, remember what we're talking about. I don't want you to be lost in the many words that I'm sharing and then you lose. How to position yourself for standing out. Okay, I mean, that's what we're talking about. So great. Good. So the next one that you do is, besides looking at the state of play, then the first question always is, what's my purpose? Remember, you want to stand out. But the ultimate question should be, to what purpose are you standing out? You always have to ask yourself, to what purpose am I standing out? Now, I know the purpose question sounds religious. A lot of the time in this country, many of the places where these questions are asked are in churches. And I mean Pentecostal churches, right? So you don't find the whole concept of purpose taught in schools. You don't find the whole concept of purpose taught as part of our citizenship curriculum. I mean, you don't get anybody talk to you about purpose except your pastor. I mean, concepts like destiny are even for Nollywood, where they talk about destiny. Oh, you've been destined to marry the king, so you will be a queen. You know all those nonsense that we hear about. So I mean, the whole concept of this, but I mean, these are intricate things that we need to come to terms with. Why exactly am I here? I'm talking to somebody today that, you know, we always think of time as a linear experience, but time may not be. And that our parents may actually be dead right now, but we don't know. And I told her that, do you know, we ourselves can actually be dead right now, but because we're just experiencing life. She's like, Basamta, please, you need to write this down. I'm like, that's true. So you know what? If you are not in tune with your purpose, what exactly am I here for? Every wind will push you everywhere. I mean, if the only thing you are looking for is the next job or the next salary or the next food, then every wind of life is going to blow you everywhere. So you've got to figure out really, what am I destined to do? What are the dreams that I have? What are the things that color my imagination? What are my desires? My people, I mean, I know all of us are hustling, to eat, to chop. I mean, that's what consumes us. But remember where we started from is the whole concept of standing out. So I suspect that I'm not talking to everyone right now. And that's okay, right? I suspect that if there are only 10 people in the room, I'm talking to maybe 1 or 2%. That's fine. But guys, if you're the 1 or second person, please listen to me. You've got to figure this out. If you want to make any significant impact in this life, you need to figure out yourself. I mean, it couldn't be that you're just here to eat, feed, make love, make babies, grow old and die. It couldn't possibly be. I mean, then what will make you different from the ram that is prepared for Salah or the chicken that is fed for Christmas? So you've got to figure out the purpose question. Why exactly? I mean, you hear this in professional circle when they talk about the purpose of a brand, the purpose of a company, the vision and all that. But how is it that professionally we can talk about the purpose of an organization or the purpose of a brand, but as individuals we've not figured that out? Why on Jesus' planet are you here? Why do you think you're here? Now, the beautiful side is whether you believe in a God or not, whether you are in tune with your faith or not. Even if you think you have a purpose or not, you can craft one for yourself. I mean, there's nothing like purpose. One of my mentors, who is now late, says where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you don't clearly spell out the reason why you exist, your reason for being, anything will be that reason. So you've got to figure out, I mean, even if I don't know why I'm here, I have to craft for myself the reason for my being. So let's start from there. If you want to stand out, remember what I told you. Every one of us was born standing out. But life and time and culture and school and parents, they made us all the same. So if you want to stand out, the first one is crafting and purpose. And of course, there are fundamental elements for doing that. What are your dreams? What do you think is your destiny? What are your desires? What are the decisions you need to take? And where's the destination you are going? I mean, there's a background noise. Can you help me unmute your mics, please? I get easily distracted. Please, oh. All right, guys. Thanks. So let's flip, because I don't have time. Let me see. I have already used about 15 minutes of my time, and that's the first line. Okay. Let me see. God will help me. All right. And the next thing is, after figuring out your purpose, then you have to figure out, you have to figure out your place. And I say this with a lot of circumspection. I mean, many of you are young people, so it's a brilliant time to use examples. I mean, I talk with young people, so I like to use examples. And one of the best examples that I use every time is football. Because young people, particularly in Nigeria, they're either watching football, they're betting about football, or something about football. So I can't help you, but maybe we can use this example. A lot of the time when I'm talking to young people, I ask them, who do you think is the best footballer in the world? I mean, for the last 15 years, every one of them say one of two things. Is either Ronaldo or Messi. And I mean, God bless their souls. They have time to argue. I don't have the energy. But you know what? This next thing I tell them is, now imagine Ronaldo. We think Ronaldo is the best footballer in the world. But do you want to know how Ronaldo is not the best footballer in the world? Take Ronaldo and put him in the goalpost. Then you will know he's just an ordinary person. In fact, he won't even make a decent goalkeeper. The same with Messi. You think Messi is really brilliant, right? Take Messi and make him a defender. Then you will see how much of a midget without any idea he is. So why do I use this example? It's because when you see people who exceedingly succeed, it's because they found their place. Because not every place is yours. Not every position you should occupy. Not every role you should aspire to. Not every dream you should dream. Oh, I can't forget Susan Boyle. When she appeared in 2009 for Britain's Got Talent, I can't forget because I watched it in the office. And then she sang, I Dream the Dream. Not every dream is yours. Not every desire. So you need to figure out, really. You know, we start with your purpose, but now we're talking about your place. So if you're a business person or you're a career person, you need to figure out very quickly, where do you want to play? In what waters do you want to swim? In what pond do you want to fish? In what path do you want to follow? Is it business? Is it career? Do you want to combine both? But specifically, what kind of things do you want to do? And it's not even hard. You know what kills me? Is that I attended a training with many senior managers, many of them in their 40s, 50s, maybe 60s, I don't know. And it was scary for me when many of them did not even understand their gift, their talent, what they want to do, their vision. It was scary because these people have lived more than half of their life, but they still don't know. I pray that your life is not going to replicate theirs. So I'm asking you, take a step back. What are your interests? Now, for me, for people like me, it's easy. I knew from when I was young that I liked to talk, and I could talk quite well. I mean, I've told people before, when I was much younger, I was a stutterer, so I stuttered to talk. So because I stuttered, I needed to talk fast so that my stuttering won't appear. That's why I still talk so fast today, because I used to have a history of stuttering, right? Now, but when I overcame my stuttering, I realized I was easy to talk. But not just easy to talk, it was easy to think. But not just easy to think, it was easy to write. Not just easy to write, it was easy to encourage others. So it's easier for somebody like me, but maybe it won't be easy for you, or maybe it's not been easy. But if you're a career person or a business person, you've got to figure out yourself enough to know where you want to play. My question is, where is your place? Today, I told you guys I started working in marketing 19 years ago. And when I started working in marketing 19 years ago, I joined a marketing communications firm. I joined an agency. I worked there for a while. I moved around. I started doing some bit of business and sales. I moved around. I got into business and sales in technology. I moved around. I came back to marketing. I moved around. I came back to marketing. I moved around, went back to business. So after a while, it occurred to me that even though I was changing jobs or changing industry, the things that I was doing was constant. It was clear to me after a while that my place professionally was around marketing, business, and sales. That was me, business development, sales development, and marketing. It was clear that that was my space. Now I love to do strategy. I love to do that. But what fed into my strategic ability is my insight from the market and my brain for business. So when people see me, they say, oh, this guy is such a smart guy. He knows what to do. I mean, I got a job recently where they were going to pay me some good money. I don't want to mention it here, but the guy has not even paid now. So maybe I feel my share to collect money. But you know what I'm going to do for him? I'm going to bring my understanding of the market, and I'm going to use my business sense to tell them how they should launch with their business. And they're going to pay me millions. So you see, I can make money by the side. I can work in big companies and they pay me salary for it. I can speak to you guys and you think this guy is smart only because I figured my place. If you called me now to teach mathematics to primary 4 kids, at times I'll stutter. I have a 4-year-old who is so smart, I can't even teach him maths. I teach him everything else but maths. So people see me outside and they say, what a smart guy. This guy is such a brilliant guy. My son is 8 years old. He's in primary 4. He teaches me math. I'm not even ashamed to say it, but I respect myself. Know my place. In my own place, I'm like a don. I'm like a genius. I don't even think to talk. I don't even think to write. I just write and people say, what a brilliant guy. I mean, I just told you guys, I was speaking to someone, the guy said, please write this thing down. But I'm only ever brilliant when I operate in my place. My question is, where's yours? Flip. The third one is you've got to freaking prepare. I mean, there's an ancient, let me see the time. My people, share, I'm done with time more. We can maybe end here. Let me finish this slide. And then we'll take
No. You can continue. Let's see what happened by 8 p.m. Then we'll find a way to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the third one is prepare. And there's an ancient cliche that says if you fail to plan, you have already agreed to fail. Now, people say, no, why should I plan? I mean, plan is a straight line, but reality is up and down. And that's true. So guess what? Let me explain what planning means to you. Or preparing, what it means. If you prepare, you may succeed. But if you do not prepare, you have already failed. I don't know if you guys got me. If you prepare, if you plan, you may succeed. But if you do not plan, you have already failed. So preparation is sine qua non, is non-negotiable. So how do you prepare to stand out in this? I mean, many of you go to church. If you are the faith type, you fast and pray. We're in the beginning of January. I was speaking to my friend last week. We went to visit one of my colleagues who had the baby, and they said, oh, in their church, they are fasting 21 days. Another said in their church, they are fasting 40 days. Another one said in their church, they fast for 3 months. Nigerians, why is it that Europeans, they don't fast, but they succeed? But we just fast to death. Why? When the fundamental stuff we should do, we don't do. So if you want to stand out, then you've got to prepare for it. And you will notice that the things to do are not even very far. They're not even very far from the core message. First thing is, how do you prepare? Why? The next one, where? The third one, what's my message? Remember, standing out feels like, I'm going to paint a picture so you get, and we don't have the time. How do you posture? How should you stand? Okay, what's the kind of impact you should make? I'll come to this. Let me quickly flow, and then maybe we can have a good conversation in question and answer. So I have 11 minutes tonight. The third one is your posturing. So now that you've put together a plan, this year, for example, I want to change my job. This year, for example, I want to relaunch my business. This year, for example, I want to japa. Okay, and all of these things are not bad, but you've got to sort of piece together a plan that is solid, right? And then after the plan, how should you posture? Please, if you forget everything, this is my most important slide. And let me talk about this. I mean, you can go online and just type Basamta and personal branding. I teach you that a lot because when it comes to career building, building businesses, I tell young small business owner that personal branding will sell you more than anything, more than promotions, right? Now, in the personal branding space, the first and the most important is what's your substance. So when people see me, I mean, Basamta is only two things. There's a professional Basamta, okay, maybe three things, maybe four, say, but let me talk about who I am in the public space. I'm only two things. In the public space, I'm a marketing technology business professional. That's who I am. That's what they pay me for in the office. That's what I do every day. In the public sphere and in the media, I'm a public speaker who works with young people to help them in their personal development journey. That's who I am, right? So the first question is, what's your substance? And I'm asking you, and maybe you should ask yourself, or maybe you should write it down, maybe you should type it on your phone. What on Jesus' planet are you about? I'm not talking about the guy who looks for girls on Instagram, or the girl who only takes selfies just for people to like her pictures. I'm saying, what are you about? What's your substance? I mean, if at this point there's nothing about you that is value adding or is looking to exchange value, then maybe that's what you should take your time to do. I mean, attending this session is nice and is interesting, and you're hearing some guy shouting at his laptop. Maybe you should just log out and go figure out your own life. Because in any case, we live with ourselves more than we live with anyone. After this night, now all of us will go and sleep. We will sleep with ourselves alone. So the first question is, what's your substance? The next one is, what's your style? You'd have noticed that my style is very high energy. I'm ultra passionate. I'm all gesticulating, even though I'm the only one in the room. I'm speaking as if I'm speaking to a hall of 10,000 people. This is my style. It's never going to change. In fact, the only way we change is that for me not to do it. This is my style. And guess what? The style matters. Remember what I said when we started. We were all born differently. Your persona, your posture, your size, your height, your looks, your beauty, your ugliness. I mean, I wish I had time to tell you guys about how freaking ugly I was as a young person and how I thank the Lord, my God, every day for my ugliness. Because if I wasn't so ugly, I probably won't ever use my brains. So if you think that you're fine as they call you, or you think you're ugly, or you think you're tall or short, I mean, if you know me now, you'll probably think I'm still in my 20s. Oh, 20 years ago, it made me feel out of place because there's nobody who is going to look at me twice. So I'm saying whatever it is that you look like, that is what helps you to shape your style. So you see me today, the things that I do, people see me and they say, oh, I try to dress maybe young. It's deliberate because that is my style. If I work with young people, if I talk to young people, if I don't sound or try to look like them, then they trust me less. Oh, I have a few of my friends in the room, and of course, they still trust me less because they think, oh, this guy is too old. I mean, somebody was still abusing me and calling me an ancestor in the course of the week. But if I don't have this style, then I'm never going to be able to pass across the message that I have. The third one is, what's the service? What it is that you do? Either as a business person or as a career person. I mean, the only thing that they pay you for is the service that you offer. I mean, if you remembered when we were taught money in SS1 economics. So what is money? Money is means of exchange, is representation of value. I mean, there are 3 or 4 characteristics of money, right? But the truth is money represents value. So you only get money, for example, when you exchange value. And the last one there is sustained progress. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it. I mean, I may have given public speaking opportunity, maybe 1,000 times, maybe 500. I mean, I don't know, I'm not counting. But I have a responsibility to keep improving, to keep researching, to get to the point where somebody paying me 10 million just to speak, they don't consider it to be wealth. They don't consider it to be anything. I mean, that's the only reason why my company will keep paying me more, because they already paid me to join the company. I have to continuously improve to the point where they feel compelled. They are under compulsion to continue to consider me valuable enough to pay more. Okay, there's still more time. Let me flip quickly. The fourth one is the process. And I like this because a lot of the time, we don't think of life in process. I'll give you an idea. So you woke up today. I'm not sure you thought about process. You only woke up and you started with your day, right? You probably went to the restroom, emptied your bladder and bowels, had a shower, had a breakfast, went out. I mean, usually many people are experiencing life. So you find, and you guys are young, so I'm not saying you should change your life. Please don't. And don't even be like, don't even try to be like somebody like me. But I just want to paint a picture, right? Many of you are experiencing life. So, I mean, you could be in your house and your friends will say, let's go out to the club. And I say, well, that's not bad, let's go. Or you could be saving your money and a few friends will say, let's go to Ghana. So, yeah, let's go. I have some money. Let's go. Oh, do you have a 500K? We can go to Ghana and spend 2 weeks. Yeah, let's go. I mean, that's how you are living because you are young, and that's okay. But you know what? If you are planning to stand out or to make something of your life, you can't wing it. Like they say, you can't wing it. Wing it is, let's see how it will be. When we reach the bridge, we will cross them. God will help us. You can't wing it. So what do you need to do? You need to figure out what's the process. If you don't apply a process to something, then it becomes less predictable. If something is less predictable, then you cannot decide when it will happen or not. So do you know what people do? They try to make life as predictable as possible. So this standing out thing, there's a process to it. And what is that process? The first one is you. Remember what I said. We all were born differently. You were born on a different day to me. You were born to a different mother to mine. Your father certainly is different from my dad, or else would have born the same name, right? You were born in a different hospital at a different time, and a different season, with a different DNA, with different biometric markers. You were born differently. And so, if you are ever going to start any process about standing out, you've got to start with first, who on Jesus' planet am I? So you start from there. Of course, aside from you understanding yourself, and this is the process, like I said, is built around your identity. Then the next one is, I have to really, really dare to be different. I'm going to show you a picture that really, at the heart of standing out, is simply being different. I learned this in 2005. I was reading the book about Cassius Clay, the late Cassius Clay, who many of you know as Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, as a 7-year-old, was being baited by his mom. And after being baited, his mom took him to the school bus. So he joined the school bus. For some reason, Muhammad Ali dropped down from the school bus. I hope you know that school buses for kids in America usually drives at slow pace. So the guy stepped down from the bus and then he was jogging while the bus was driving. So you know what happened? All the kids, other kids, you know, he's a black guy, right? Other kids in the bus, both on the left aisle and on the right aisle, they came to the left aisle of the window and they were clapping for him. Cassius, as a 7-year-old, Cassius Ali said that was when he realized that the quickest way to the top is to be different. I'm going to take that again if you didn't get it. The quickest way to the top is to be different. If you want to be known tomorrow, okay, just dare to be. I mean, tomorrow, if you wanted to be known, and you can be known for something wrong, right? Okay, I mean, you can just call Buhari a complete bulldog, and you'll be known. But the only thing you needed to do first to be known is to be different. That's the heartbeat of standing out. Now, difference is difficult because for the last 18 years or so of your life, or the last 20 or 25 or 30 or 35, you have been taught to fit in. You have been taught to wear uniform to school, to resume school at a particular time, to close at a particular time. I don't know if any of our HR are here. I hope they are not. But they have tried to make us fit in, to come to the office at a time, to leave at a particular time, to have the same thing, to use the same ID card. We have been trained to be the same. So if you want to be different in this age of yours, you're already an adult. You have to dare to be different. That is the process. The third one, you have to agree to stand alone. Remember, everybody usually are walking like a herd, head of a lamb, head of a goat. So they walk in the same direction. What is happening right now is everybody is jackpine. So me too, I want to jackpot. What is happening is everybody is working in technology. So I want to work in technology. Next one, everybody is a PM, a product and UI UX. Me too, I want to be UI UX. The next one is everybody is trying to be intern. People just do the same old shit. In my day, immediately you left school, you wanted to work in a bank. So we want to work in a bank. My people, I swear to you, I promise you, if you want to stand out and make the best of your life, aside from figuring out yourself and daring to be different, you have to agree to stand alone. And certainly it's going to be lonely, right? Of course, the next one is you need to face up to the prospect of failure. I can't take any of the time any further. And then you need to excel and do whatever it is that you're doing very, very fine. The second to the last one is the product. What really, really is the product of standing out yourself? And I know people don't figure this out because it looks like to stand out, you need to discover something. You need to produce a product. Guys, I mean, does anybody think that I'm saying something heart-shaking this evening? I swear it's not. Many of the things that I'm telling you, I learned it. So even me, I came many thousands of years when some of these thoughts have been around. So I learned it. The only reason why the things I am saying tonight may be resounding in your ears is because you are hearing it from Basamta. If another person said the same thing, it may not make as much of the impact. Do you know why it's making the impact? Because I'm saying it my way. You would have heard me try to swear and try not to swear. Because when I get so passionate, I start saying something like freaking. I start calling Jesus' name anyhow. The only reason why you are hearing it differently is because I'm the one saying it in this way. So what really is the product of my standing out? It's myself. It's not much about the things that I say. It's not much of the business that I do. It's not much of the puff or the cake that I bake. It's not the meat pie. It's not because I'm a marketing person or a business person. It's not because I work at InterSuite or I work on the moon. No, it's because it is me that is doing the job. It's because it is me that is making this speech. And if someone else made it or tried to make it the way I'm making it, do not make half as much of the impact as I am making. So what is the product really? Is yourself. Somebody told me this, one of my mentors, Dejolo, some of you know him. He told me this in 2017. He told me the professional is the product, and if the product does not brand itself, it will never be bought. Nobody's going to buy it. If they don't know the product, it will never be bought. That was the year that my life changed. From just hearing that, he said the professional is the product. My people, even the business person is the product, particularly if you're a small business owner. You are the most important product. You are the most important service. It is you that they buy into before they buy into whatever it is that you sell. I remember watching a movie many years ago. The late DMX was there, and Aliyah was in the movie. I can't remember the title now. And they were talking about guns. And DMX was saying, no, guns don't kill people. People kill people. It's the same. People don't buy brands. They buy the stories and the people and the personalities behind the brand. People don't buy the things that you do. They buy into your story. I mean, I wasn't called here because I'm the only one who understands this thing. I'm sure there are a million books out there. I'm called to speak to you because somebody has heard me speak and they think, Lanre is the one that can nail it. There's no more time. Okay. So let me just round up, guys. I mean, I can talk about your career. There's no time. I can talk about the business. There's no time. I can talk about this. So let me try and talk about this and then we'll take questions. Now, a lot of the time, many people think the reward of getting it right or succeeding is things like this. In business, is revenue growth, is your customer size, is your service and product offering expansion, is market capture. In career, people think the end game is for you to be recognized, to get promoted, to get advancement, to become the head of the team, to get the corner office. And all of these things are good, my people. Even me, I want it. But what I'm telling you is the end game really of standing out is personal fulfillment. You know what's interesting is that there's no guarantee that all of us are going to be around by this day next year. January 12th or 13th. There's no guarantee. Life is not guaranteed. Tomorrow, certainly. Friday, I think, is not guaranteed. So how do you make the best of life with the limited opportunity that you have? It's called personal fulfillment, the height of reward. It is not a thing, it is a place where you are convinced that you have lived your best life and you have gotten the best reward for it. That's personal fulfillment. So I want to ask you, wherever it is that you are in your current, I mean, maybe we'll get, I was at a program today where I was watching middle-aged men eating. And one of my multimillionaire, I don't know if he's a billionaire, one of my multimillionaire mentors, he went to get his food. It was a buffet lunch. He went to get his food and he took only salad and fish. And I'm like, this guy is so rich that he only eats leaves. I mean, my former boss is a billionaire. Shay knows him. He's so rich that he only eats salad. So I'm like, so what's the point of having money when you can't even eat so much? The truth is, as you climb on in life, the things that you think give you fulfillment now, girls, alcohol, drugs, recognition, awards, title, bright lights, people liking your picture, they're going to slow down in relevance. Your measure of what will be how fulfilled you are, how you believe you have not just exchanged your life of value, but you have made impact. And that measurement is actually called personal fulfillment. I want to tell you that this standing out journey is not just for making more money. It's not just for getting more promotion. It's not just for increasing the size of your profit. It's to aspire, like they say, like young people, they aspire to perspire. No, is to aspire to this utopia that is called personal fulfillment. You know what utopia is? A place of perfection. There's no place like that, but it's good because you are never completely fulfilled. But it's to continue to aspire for that place where, in your heart of heart, you feel like your life is making meaning and you're making a difference. My hope, my desire, my expectation is that all of us will find this place. Like I said, there's no guarantee we'll see ourselves. And I don't want to die next year or tomorrow. I mean, we may live 90, 80, 70, however many long the Creator is going to afford us. But my hope is that if you forget everything else, you don't forget that even if you don't think you are here for a reason, you can make meaning out of your existence. You can live your best life, make the best impact, and truly really stand out. Your business is not just about making profit. Your career is not just about getting promotion. You can make the best of this opportunity called life and living and leave this world a much more better place. Thank you, guys. I'll take your question. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Lanre. Thank you for your session. It's so brilliant that I've written a lot of things in my writing pad, and I was like, what exactly do I need to ask again? Thank you very much again. Again, let me thank everyone for coming on this platform tonight. This is Enterprise 360. It's an enterprise CEO program, and Enterprise CEO is an enterprise media platform that helps business owners gain relevant information that will make them to improve their businesses in all ways. And one of the persons that we have seen that can do justice to one of the things that we do at Enterprise CEO is Lanre. I've known Lanre for about 5 years now. And sometimes there are times that I look at his status, I look at his WhatsApp status, Instagram pages, to know when else he's going to speak, because I really enjoy his conversation, some of this knowledge that he usually share at any events, at any platform. Thank you, Lanre, once again. Before we go into the question and answer session, Lanre wants to share his book about a certain number of his books that he wants to share tonight. But unfortunately, I'm going to put that on a hold because of the way we started the program tonight. There's a strategy that we want to use. I know that the book can go for everybody, but at least we need to find a way to make it fine so that it won't look as if we're putting some things behind, and because it's not everybody that will definitely get it. But we are going to come up with it in the next edition of this Enterprise Spaces so that we can find a way to share the book in an appropriate way so that everybody will be fine. Again, let me apologize the way we had a technical itch, and I again promise that such thing will not happen on our next conversation. Thank you very much again, Lanre. If you have questions, you can start dropping your questions. If you want to ask it, you can just raise up your hand and unmute your mic and ask any question you want to ask. So I think I should first ask my own questions. Lanre, at the point that, for example, how do we differentiate a kind of career? For example, we've talked about career and businesses tonight. How business owner can further position themselves and help anyone that wants to achieve anything in his or her career. How can we draw distinction when it comes to this is exactly to do? For example, a lot of people are doing Japa today, not because they want to do Japa, but because a lot of people are just traveling. At what point should one say, I should start a business? At what point should one say, I should change my job? At what point should one say, I should do Japa? That's my question.
Okay, so Chair, thanks a lot. I actually think the question does not come. No. I actually think the experience does not come like that. So I don't want to use my experience to color my response. But let me really speak to what the foundation really is. It's like trying to build a house from the roof. Nobody does that. So that's what we all do. So the real substance or the real foundation for decisioning is insight and clarity. That's what helps your decision. You know what to do and you are clear about how you should do it. But what helps your decision is not, should I japa or not? What if you have a free visa I was telling somebody that, do you know my dream country for 20 years was to go to the United States. And then in 2019, I got a 2-year visa and I got somebody bought a $1 million ticket for me and I didn't use it for 2 years. Now, it doesn't mean I'm smart. In fact, I think that I was foolish not to have used it. But the drama or the conversation that led here is you need to first figure out yourself. So now, myself and my family were under so much unbelievable pressure to jackpot. And I won't lie to you, I wish that I wasn't like this. So I was trying to tell my wife that I think that it's time for you guys to leave, but I can't leave immediately. And then my wife said, no, I think that it's time for you to leave because we can't leave immediately. So we're in that argument. But it's a serious conversation, I'll tell you. All our cash investments are losing value. All our assets are not gaining value. We're in Nigeria where things are more unstable today than even 2 years ago. So there's no reason to stay around. And then I tell her that the only reason why I have not left is because, people think about Japan, but no. Me, I assume that I'm in America now. Am I fulfilled? I don't think I'm fulfilled. That's all. So I just say, Lanre, you're in America now. Are you fulfilled? In fact, that's the only thing I say. Because getting to America is just money and visa. And I don't think that's impossible for me to get. I mean, that's it. Moving over is that. Now, why can I say this and say it like this? Because, I want my children to have the opportunities of living in a global country where they don't have to beg to apply for visa every time, where their name and their flag is not their biggest disadvantage. I don't want that. I see my friends with their kids, all of them out there, for example, and I don't want to make this about Japa, please, but it's a good, perfect example. So I want my children to have that opportunity, but I'm also concerned about, is there no other meaning to my life than to provide this brown or red or blue passport? Now, so my pure response to your question is, what helps you take the decision? What helps you to know at what point you jackpot or not is really your understanding or your connection to your purpose and your desires and dreams. What really are you here for? What really are you about? That's the only reason that helps me to answer myself everything. Because, like I said, this is the highest pressure I've ever had in my life to leave the country. The first time I stopped telling people not to travel, yes, because I used to tell many of the young people that I mentor, don't travel, Nigeria is a promising place. From NSAS, which was in October 2020, I tell people, please leave. Please. But me, myself, that I'm telling them to leave, I'm still here. So why? So the only thing that helps your decisioning, that helps you to have clarity, is that understanding of yourself and your purpose and your meaning. Because if you don't have it, every wind will drive you away. And not just jackpot at times. Is that you get an exciting job. Guys, I got a super exciting job in December. They were going to pay me more than 40% my current earning. Big title, explosive car, they're going to give me signing bonus, and I rejected. People should have asked me, am I not the one that was doing the interview? I attended the interview. Yeah, they gave me the offer. I refused. So you need to figure out life in this manner, because if not, every wind blows you everywhere if you don't have that connection to your roots. And I'm not even kidding with this. The only thing that will help you then is your roots. That's the way I've seen it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answer. Does anyone have questions? This is a question and answer session. If you can just ask. You can unmute yourself, then ask your question, or you can also send it in the chat box. Then it will be read. Yes. Questions. Questions.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. So my name is Genevieve. So my question is this: how do you position yourself when it looks like you have diverted? Because I have a 6 years experience in customer service, but I diverted to data analysis last year, and it looks like I'm diverting back to customer service again. So is it like, I don't know, is it like So how do you now position back, or how do I now bring my position back, or how do I put myself forward again? That's my question.
Okay.
Yeah, hi
Lanre.
Jenny. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to open one of these slides. So this is the slide. I think the most important thing is not what you're doing, is you. And I say that because no matter what you're doing today, in another 6 months, you could be doing something else. I mean, if I left Nigeria and I was in Canada, for example, I almost certainly will have to do something different, even if my career path remains the same. So the first and most important question is, have you figured out yourself, what you really are about, what your core strength is, what your core abilities are? Like I said, if you moved Ronaldo from one football, and I'm using football because most of you are young people. If you moved Ronaldo from one club to the other, he continues to succeed, because even though he changes clubs and he changes continents and he changes houses, he's still playing his role. His role is to score goals. So you need to figure out more yourself first, rather than the road that you are moving around. It is only when you are attuned to yourself that you truly, really succeed. I'll paint a picture. And maybe this story will help you. As a teenager, I mean, I told you, you know me now. I mean, I've known Jenny for the last 15 years. I knew Jenny in 2007, right? So you know me better than most people on this call, right? And so you know what I looked like 15 years ago when I came visit you in your house, right? Good. So imagine what I looked like 20, 25 years ago. And this is a story I wrote this story in the book. So as a teenager, I fell into the bad habit of reading M&B. M&B is a romance novel for ladies, but I was an idiot. So I was reading M&B, right? And when I was reading M&B, I realized that all the guys that girls loved had a particular physique. They always had biceps and triceps and abs and all that. It was clear to me that if I live to be 100, I'll never have a girl like me. From this stupid novel. So what did I do? Myself and a couple of my friends, we decided to be going to the gym. I mean, not the main gym. We're just carrying some nonsense metal at the back of our compound. So we're always carrying weight because we believe that you needed to have a lot of muscles to get girls to like you. I was a teenager, of course. These are the stupid things that teenage boys thought about. So I was carrying weight, and I thought I was going to be muscular. I never became anything, because you guys even know me now. I don't have any iota of muscle, right? But something started happening, and this feels like a comedy, but it happened. Every time I was lifting this weight, I was having bad dreams. I was having nightmares. It was so bad, I just told myself, there's no point. If I was never going to get a girl, I'd better just die like this, because there was no point. So I stopped. I mean, my friends, we got some drugs. I mean, it was so bad that we got some drugs that was going to help us pump out our muscles. With all the drugs, nothing came out. So I gave up. And then it occurred to me that really, if I just polished my real self, I got all the girls that I wanted. As a teenager, what was my real self? I could write, I could talk, I could think. So I became so good at it. I wrote my first set of books. I mean, my first 2 books were unpublished. I wrote them as a 16-year-old. One of them had 200 and something pages as a 16-year-old. So think about it. It occurred to me that just being in tune with myself, just being so good. I mean, if you guys read my book, I sold love letters as a 9-year-old boy in the secondary school. And I became so popular, even though I was small, freaking ugly. I used to call myself fugly. I was so ugly and dirty that I couldn't befriend myself. But because I was the one writing love letters for everyone, even as a kid, I was so popular, everybody wanted to befriend me. Not because I smelled less, not because I've suddenly become neat. No, I was still the freaking ugly boy. But because I was in tune with what I was really, really good at, life paid attention to me. The girls liked me, of course, as their schoolboy, because I was the one who just wrote their letters. Of course, I was never going to get a kiss or whatever. But I was useful to the degree that I wrote letters for the boys and the girls. So you see, the core of it is you that you figure out. Babe, let me tell you this. Life makes room for the man who's figured it out. That's what I've seen. I mean, I can't thank God enough for how far he's brought me. But you know my story. Of all the people in the room, you're one of those who know me most. I mean, I don't know. And you came to my dad's burial. So it's not like I got any benefit from my parents. No. I'm thankful I have the parents that I have. I'm thankful my mom is still there. But no, all the jobs they wanted to get for me, I didn't get anyone. All the works that I've done, nobody got anyone for. I don't know anyone except God. So it's not like somebody got me any job. But what I've seen is that aside from God helping you, life makes room for the guy who has figured it out. I will end with this statement. It says, there is no force in this life as powerful as an idea whose time has come. It's the same. There's no power that can stop you when you figure out yourself, you know what you want to do, and you get in your space. People think you are excellent. I mean, look at this thing. I told you guys I have not, all of this thing that I'm telling you, I wrote it under maybe 10 minutes. That's why I said they helped me work on my slide. I can speak for 2 years. I won't say the same thing. And people think I'm very smart. No, it's because I'm in my place. So you've got to figure out yourself. It's not the job. There are not many jobs there anyway. That's why everybody's applying for the same jobs and we're not getting it. It is you have to figure out so that life will open the door for you, so that everybody else that is applying for a job will never get it but you. It is you. And I'm saying it with all of my passion because I know what I'm saying, Jenny. And we have spoken about some of these things privately. Life has to make room for you because there's no room up there anyways. It is when you are completely in tune with your purpose, your reason for being, that is the only place that you are excellent. If you ever try to be like me, if I ever try to be like those idiots in M&B, I still don't have muscles today. So if all the girls needed muscles, I'm going to die, Reverend Father. I accepted that. If you see what I said there, I dared to be different. All my friend, one of my friends that we did this thing together is still a bodybuilder and what they call them, is a bouncer in Germany. If you see that, my friend, is like my size times 10. His name is Joseph. So me and this guy, we decided to start carrying weight so that we can get girlfriends. It is weight that made him marry a German. He married the baby in Nigeria. So he found his path. But me, I tried to be like him because I was looking for babe. I realized quickly this wasn't my journey. So it is you have to figure out first. I mean, that's what I have seen. And I've seen it not just in my life. In the life, like I said, I read 5 hours every day for 26 years. What do I read? I practically read about the lives of people who have made it, and the foundation for their success is themselves. You need to figure this. I'm not even preaching theories. I'm saying this is what life has taught me, and this is what life has taught others. And these are the deductions I've made. It is you. You are the most critical ingredient in this success. Of course, God is there, but life will not give you it. I mean, you can get a job, but how much salary do you want to earn before you prosper? It certainly cannot be. I'm sorry, I don't have all the time to say all that I want to say.
Okay,
But, I mean,
okay,
maybe I'll stop there.
Thank you very much, Lanre. We have some questions at this end here, at the chat box, and about 3 questions here. The number 1 question says that, how do you focus on a particular thing without drifting from one business to business? For example, how do you focus on one to become a professional before you expand? Then the second question, how do you harness the power of relationship, networking to your advantage? And how will you advise we network intelligently? And how do we take advantage of the high network contact? Then the last question, sorry, do you get the questions?
Yeah, no, I can see it. Continue. I can see it actually. So I can take them over.
Okay. Can you give a start to finish template? A start to finish template to earning in dollars or pounds.
Okay. I should give you 22 ways to earn in dollars. Shall we? Okay. Well done. Okay, the first one, Chris Daniel. How do you focus on a particular thing without drifting from business to business? And I know we talk about this a lot of the time. Focus. I mean, there's no force as powerful as the force of focus. That's true. But if you're a young person, I would say, forget focus. Life is a journey. Go explore. What's your problem? Why do you want to do something? Why do you want to make a call now? Go explore. And guys, people see me and they think I figured out life. Do you know how many businesses I tried that I failed? It is in failing that my successes are refined. It is in trying to do many things that God found my path for me. The first job that I got, my first salary was 7,000 naira. And I tell people, I'm still owed salary still today. So people think this guy was so brilliant. I got my first job about 3 weeks getting out from the university, and people say, no, this guy is favored. My Oga is still owing me salaries 19 years later. So why do you have to figure it out now? Go explore. It is in exploring that you will see the things that makes your heart beat, your heart pump. It is in exploring that you will find a path that is aligned completely with your desires and dreams. It is in exploring that you know which paths are thorns that you don't want to tread. So go, if you're a young person, go explore. And like I said, I've checked me on LinkedIn. I've worked in about 9 places. I've done many things. I need to tell you, you need to see things that have failed. So it is in trying these things that have failed over time that my path has been refined. Now I stand up and I tell people, I speak at TED, and people say, what a brilliant life. See the life he has had. Jenny has known me for 16 years. You can ask her. So go explore and don't be afraid to explore. The final thing I want to say to you is there's a concept of duality of the Chinese that is called yin yang. And it's a Chinese restaurant. I order food for my people from there. But yin yang says that 2 conflicting ideas can be correct. We are not taught like that, Chris. When we're young, they told us you're either tall or short. You're either handsome or ugly. You're either rich or poor. You're either good or bad. That's what they told us. So we always see life from the prism of singularity. I need to focus. What am I doing? No. So when you ask me who I am, what did I say when I was introducing myself? I'm a business marketing technology professional. That's me. That's 3 things. When you ask me what, I'm multiple. I can't be one thing now. Am I not somebody's husband? Am I not somebody's father? Am I not somebody's son? Am I not somebody's friend? Am I not somebody's mentor? Am I not somebody's teacher? Am I not somebody's employee? I'm many things in one. So the Chinese says 2 conflicting ideas about 2 conflicting views can be correct. You have to open your mind to the fact that you can do 2 things and do it well, and that can be your life. So this whole idea of focus, it is when you have figured out life that you focus. That's now when I focus. But until you figure out life, what's your own? Continue to explore. Number 2, let me see the second question. How do you harness the power of relationship? See, my brother, relationship is an asset you need to figure out. The most valuable resource in the world are human beings. I know you didn't get that, so I'll say it again. The most valuable resource in the world are human beings. So I know you didn't get this one, so I'll say it the last time. The most valuable resource in the world are human beings. I told a story in my book. I wish we gave out the books tonight. Many years ago, I was playing ball with my friends. We used to have a security man. He's an elderly man, and he likes to drink. And he gets drunk from early evening. So we're playing ball. After playing ball, we wanted to clean up, and the man came to meet me and my friends. And then he asked us, who is the richest man in the world? I remember, because all my friends were saying Bill Gates. This was many years ago, maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago. And then I said Carlos Slim Elu, because he was the richest, he was a billionaire Mexican. He was the second richest man there. I said Carlos Slim Elu. Baba didn't even know Carlos Slim Elu. Then Baba called one of those small boys in my compound then, and he said, this is the richest man in the world. Then all of us laughed. I said, Baba is drunk. And the man said, no. He says, you already know what those rich people are. You don't know what this child can be tomorrow. I didn't forget. This happened more than 15 years ago. You know why? Because today, at the height of Bitcoin, we all knew that Bitcoin was worth $60,000. Today, a barrel of crude oil is worth $120. A bar of gold is worth $2,000. We already know what they are worth. You don't ever know the incredible potential of everyone. That's why some of my friends are on this call. Only God knows where they are going. Look at Jenny. I've known her for 16 years. Who said she can't be the first lady of this country? That's why I shouldn't treat her anyhow. That's why I should keep the network. Look at the people. Look at Shea. Who knows what it can be? Nobody knows. So when you understand, and you don't need to like people. You don't even need to know how to do it. But when you understand that there's no resource in this world that is as valuable as human beings, then you pay attention to people. So even if you are liking them because you want to use them, it's better to like them. So you can start from that mindset. Look at how all of us are pursuing jobs because jobs are valuable. They pay salary. Look at how all of us pursue Bitcoin till everybody entered the ground because Bitcoin was worth $60,000. Look at how we're pursuing Japa because when you get out there, your life becomes better. That is how you should pursue people. If you don't even have any talent, pursue people because they're valuable. Number 2. Number 3, how will you advise with network intelligence? There are some other ways. Okay, intelligent. Let me answer this one because this one is smart. 20 years ago, it was only the son of the rich that had the opportunity. So when you graduate from university, your father will register you at a Ikoyi club, almost 1 million naira plus. Then you come to Ikoyi Club in the evening, you come and play golf, you meet with people, and that is great. My people, let me answer this. I don't know who this person is. Let me check your name. This is me giving you a trick. Oga Emmanuel, this is what I have done for myself. I realized that my father was never going to give me 1 million naira, but I still needed to network. Then God gave me the power to use my brain to realize that there was something called WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, I met people that my father never met. Today, I'm a WhatsApp group that had more than 60 MDs of different companies in Nigeria. About 8 of them are MDs of banks. About 40 of them are MDs of fintech. I joined the group. And then I don't join the group and keep quiet. When I want to speak, I speak with the highest depth and intelligence, so they pay attention to me. I've worked in 9 places all my life. And all the 9 places I've worked, I've never applied to any one of them. Every job I ever had, all of them headhunted me. Why did they headhunt me? Because when God gave me the opportunity to meet the people who were going to change my life, I was ready. Somebody said, success is when opportunity meets preparedness. So how should you network intelligently? I told you, the most valuable resource in the world are people. Where do people are? Sorry, see English where they talk. Where are people today? The largest convergence of human beings on this planet is on Facebook. There are 2.9 billion people on Facebook. So what are you doing there? Where else are people? They're on social networks. Okay? They're on different WhatsApp groups. So why are you not there? Why are you only posting nonsense on your status? And you're not taking advantage of the equalization tool that God has given you. I mean, if your father had money to put you in a Ikoyi Club, that's great. But I mean, I have access. There's a director in one of the leading banks in Nigeria that I'm talking to every night. He's one of the most powerful person in this whole country. I chat to him on WhatsApp. So I take the opportunity to equalize access that my fathers couldn't give me, that my mother couldn't give me. So you need to find a place and a way to get noticed, to meet people, to get their phone numbers, to stay in contact. So that when you are doing Happy New Year, you're not posting Happy New Year on your status. You are chatting them on their phone and you're speaking to them, you're staying connected to them. Please get my book. There's a free chapter online. You'll see how many MDs of companies that I personally acknowledge because I have a relationship with them. That is how you take intelligently, you take advantage of your network. The third one is, can you give a start to finish template for any in dollars? Don't worry, even me, I'm looking for that one. It says the particular thought, it's me. Okay, yeah, I think I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lanre. You've opened us up to a lot of information here this evening. I want to believe everyone that has been here tonight have learned one or two things or the other. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank everyone. As I said before, this session is being organized by the Enterprise CEO. Enterprise CEO is an enterprise media platform that helps business owners gain relevant information that makes them to improve their businesses in all ways. Let me ask you to join us on our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on Twitter and on YouTube. Again, I'm going to say that let me apologize again for not being able to share the books tonight. We are going to share it in the next session. The reason why we are not going to be sharing it tonight is because of the technical hitch that we had at the beginning of the conversation. We do apologize for not being able to do that. And I again want to thank you for standing with us to this particular time. I appreciate you. And you can follow us on all our social media platforms so that you can get further information that on our platform on Enterprise CEO. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lanre. We appreciate your time. As a matter of fact, you helped us with a lot of information that I believe that everybody on this particular platform tonight will find a way to use in one or two ways. And thank you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Cheers, guys.
So on the chat box, you can just appreciate Lanre for coming here tonight, to appreciate every one of us. Just say thank you, Lanre, for coming. Thank you for sharing. And if you have any knowledge you want to share with me, my name is Shaya Joseph. You can send an email to me, shayajoseph16@gmail.com. I will definitely respond. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. 2 weeks' time, we'll be here again. We're going to send emails to everyone just for us to know about the next person that we will be bringing. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, good night.